And I was talking to a lecturer, an ex-lecturer yesterday, and he said on the English literature curriculum, when he was lecturing in one of the local schools around here, on the English literature curriculum, rather than having Jane Eyre or Bronte or anything like that, there was a book by a Nigerian author, a book by a Chinese author, and a book by an English author. Now, why on earth, if you're studying English literature, would you be reading a book by a Chinese author or a Nigerian author? Now, and of course, saying that, oh no, you're only saying that because they're this, because of that. Someone who writes about Nigerian politics or Nigerian literature, what has that got to do with English literature? Well, you wouldn't go to Nigeria, right, and study Nigerian literature and end up with like books on Britain. You wouldn't go to China and study Chinese literature and ending up with books like, I don't know, by Nick Hornby or something like that. No, we're talking about English literature, aren't we? Right. So you wouldn't have that. Yeah. But this country, it seems that we are, George Orwell in 1980, in the book of 1984, coined, he retook hold of a phrase and a word called oikophobia.
Right.
Okay? And oikophobia is an old Latin word. And basically in 1984, with Big Brother and everything else, what he was saying, and he used the word to describe a person who rejects their own culture and their own heritage, i.e. is ashamed of their own roots. Now, every culture around the world is encouraged to celebrate their roots, learn about their culture, ingrain their own identity in themselves so they can pass it on to their children. Every country, apart from one.